Hey, how's it going, guys? Carson back here. This time we're reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. That's right, we're in the final part of Harry Potter finally after 7+ weeks, going on week number 8, of course, with this video. The finish line is so close, we can all feel it. But I'm just excited to finally get a chance to see how all this ends. Now, I guess my predictions for this one, this is probably one of the more spoiled ones for me, I have to say, because I went to Universal Studios in Florida, and they had a whole Harry Potter experience, obviously. If you're watching this, you're a big Harry Potter fan, you have not gotten yourself to Universal Studios Florida, you got to get down there and check out this big Harry Potter experience they got going on, because it's like the most cool experience for a fan of something, basically. What I mean by that, if you're like a Star Wars fan, you can go to like Disney and they got a decent Star Wars setup, or like Simpsons Land as well in Universal Studios. It's pretty cool, but in my opinion, the Harry Potter experience trumps them all, just seeing what Universal's done over there. So you got to go see that. But anyway, they do have a whole ride dedicated to escaping the Gringotts Bank, where there's dragons ridden and all that stuff. So for the process of elimination, I now know that we're going to get to see Hermione go into the Gringotts Bank to find one of the Horcruxes of Voldemort, but she's disguised, you know, as, be it Bellatrix. God, I couldn't even remember her name. I'm slowly getting these names down. You got to forgive me. But she's going to go disguised as Bellatrix to find this Horcrux, and then, of course, she's going to be in the bank, and the potion wears off. It's going to be Hermione, and they got to break out of the bank with the Horcrux, and there's going to be a big dragon, finally! I've been so disappointed in every movie that hasn't had a giant dragon in it. This one has to have a giant dragon in it, or I quit. So, really looking forward to that. And just seeing who's going to survive this whole thing, and how certain characters aren't going to make it. Obviously, Voldemort's going down in this one. I mean, if he doesn't die in this one, I don't know what would happen to him. Maybe they just freeze him. I don't know. But no, he's definitely going down. They're going to find the Horcruxes. They're going to destroy all of them with that sword that Ron has, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun finale, I'm sure. But I'm curious to see who else, you know, survives on the good guy side here, because a lot of people told me, maybe they're just joking around, like, you're going to get to know all these characters and they're all going to die. So I'm guessing, or at least our big three are going to survive this whole experience, of course. But I don't know about, like, the rest of the Weasley family, for instance. My boy Hagrid, if Hagrid goes down, then I don't know what I'm going to do. So hopefully Hagrid survives, because the school needs somebody left at this point. They're going to run out of teachers at this rate. So I know Hagrid's not exactly the teaching type, but they need somebody to look after this next crop of kids. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen there. But I've already rambled on long enough. I want to see how this all ends, so I'll be right back in a second for you guys. For me, it'll be like 2 hours plus, so I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back, and I can finally join the rest of the world in saying I have seen those Harry Potter movies, each and every one of them. And yeah, I really enjoyed this last one. I thought it was easily a fitting into the whole Harry Potter series, so this one's definitely going to rank high for me. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. I guess the biggest thing I would need to address here is, did the Deathly Hallows need to be broken up into 2 movies? I guess I'm still kind of on the fence about that, honestly, because a lot of if you guys watched up until this point, a lot of my early criticisms especially were with the lengths of these movies, and I noticed this one, because my time was limited this afternoon that I'm watching this was one of the shorter ones, Deathly Hallows Part 2, so in considering everything that happened in Deathly Hallows Part 1, it seems like if you were to break down the story and merge them together, it could have made one movie, sure, but then, like I said, my early criticisms of the length of duration, especially in those early ones, I definitely get why they broke this up into 2 movies, besides the obvious cash grab side of things, obviously. So I really did enjoy this as a standalone movie by itself, without needlessly comparing it to Deathly Hallows Part 1. This was easily the finale that, a lot of the parts I was kind of hoping to get in Part 1 because I didn't know what they were going to do in Part 1 versus Part 2. And they just loaded up Part 2 with all the scenes you wanted to see going into this whole thing. So really enjoyed that. I mean, there's some great story points here, especially outside of your main trio. You have, obviously, the biggest one's the whole Snape reveal storyline. The fact that he was on Harry's side the entire time, start to finish, because of his allegiance to Harry's mother and the love he had for her. Just a beautiful way to put a bow on his story, basically, because it's just the whole... Basically, he sacrificed his soul and everything to pledge allegiance to Harry, basically, and for the love of his mother. So, a very interesting tale, to say the least, there. I think that's definitely going to hold up as one of the stronger storytelling points in the entire Harry Potter franchise. So I really did enjoy seeing him kind of get this big send-off for his character. I thought that was really good. And then everything with Neville Longbottom. Where did this guy come from? Neville was awesome in this movie. And I know, they kind of teased, his ability to do good for others and stuff, even from the get-go. He was the one who was like Gryffindor till the end. He was going to rat out Harry and his friends for sneaking off in the middle of the night way back when. And you really see the impact all this has had on him, because he loves that school maybe more than anybody else in this movie. And when you really get to see the school wrecked, he has to step up and do something, to the point where the Sorting Hat presents to him the Sword of Gryffindor to almost win for everybody here. He pretty much wins the movie. So, which brings me to my MVP of this movie. I think I'm going to have to pick Neville. Like, I never thought I'd pick Neville for any of these MVPs, but when the going get tough, he certainly proved himself with that sword, taking out that snake, and I was very happy to see his entire arc come to fruition here. An arc I didn't know I needed to see come to fruition, so I was very happy with that. I don't really have a least valuable player for this one, I guess. I would rather... I guess there's just a list of, like, what did I want to see more from other characters? Maybe they just got the short end of the editing stick, since this is a movie and not a book. But I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more from a character like Luna, who early on, she gets saved by Harry and, Deathly Hallows 1, and then she kind of at least plants the idea of how to get to one another Horcruxes to Harry, so she was good early on. But after a while, like, she didn't really come through and do much. She kind of just was the damsel in distress, basically. So yeah, there's that, I guess. So wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more Luna here and there where you can. And most of the Order of the Phoenix, and I get it, editing stick, whatever you want to call it. They're dying off screen at this point. I wasn't too thrilled about that. Especially Remus. I don't know why he had to die off screen so he could appear in that, like, whatever you want to call that with the ghost later. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. I guess if I was going to give one least valuable player, I would give it to that little sleazeball Grip Hook, that little goblin who works in the bank, who tried to grift the sword away from Harry and his friends, and then just kind of stole it anyway and left Harry for dead. But it did lead us to that dragon scene, finally, the one I've been wanting to see for, like, what, 3 movies now? So I was extremely happy to see that dragon. Then again, that kind of goes on that list. I want to see a little bit more from that dragon too. So, like I said, I was very happy with this movie, and maybe the last person, I know I keep going to this list of people I wanted to see do more, maybe a little bit of Voldemort there, basically, because by the end of it, he has a couple wand duels with Harry, and he makes his presence felt, but at the end of the day, when he got a snake taken out, he didn't last too much longer. And, I get the whole fact that the wand was never truly his, the Deathly Hallows wand, because of this whole prophecy that Snape kind of saw coming. So he knew that he had to be in the inner circle for Voldemort to want to kill him, and so on and so forth, but eventually led to Harry being able to deal that death blow when the cockiness of Voldemort got the best of him. So essentially, Voldemort beat himself at the end of the day in his ego. So yeah, there was that. And actually, my other highlight in this one was seeing Mama Weasley. Mama Weasley. She had one of the best lines in the whole franchise when she took out old Helena Bonham Carter's character. That was definitely one of my favorite parts. That whole scene right there. So I was very happy with that. But yeah, I guess just to put a ranking on this, it's definitely going to go in that top tier 9 out of 10. Like I said earlier, I just have a couple nitpicks. I guess my other biggest nitpick, the reason I'm not giving it like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10, is the Horcruxes. And my issue with the Horcruxes is I feel like if you're going to put like your essence, your soul into something, it would be kind of important. Like, I get like Harry actually got part of a Horcrux. The snake, that was a pretty big one. You may as well put your soul, your unkillable essence, in one of the most dangerous entities in the world. So yeah, but like a gold cup, like, was Voldemort just sitting around, sipping on something, and he's like, I could put some of my soul into this and they can't kill me. And like, there's like an amulet that kind of looks cool at least, and people can wear it around their neck and pretend like they're in Lord of the Rings wearing the One Ring and so on and so forth. But I was just a little bit turned off by the fact that I felt like after a while the Horcruxes were kind of random items, kind of maybe the book once again, but I'm just focusing on the movies here. So that's cool if they explain the importance of a few more of them in the books, and then the explanations got cut in time. I get it, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of that. And like I said, I wanted a little bit more of just menacing Voldemort, and I wanted to see if these characters are going to die. I feel like I at least need to see how they went out, especially with the Order of the Phoenix characters. Disappointed in that, but other than that, like I said, minor nitpicks there. Still giving it a 9 out of 10. Absolutely love this movie. So not quite done with Harry Potter. Number 1, I think I am going to give those books a read to see at least the first one, to see how I like them and how they line up with at least that first movie. Because there's been so many people like, oh, you need to read the books to know more about this and that. And, it seems to be a classic read at this point. So I think I am going to go ahead and give the books a try. And secondly, I think I'm going to do one more Harry Potter video here on this channel, just to sum up everything, whether it be like my top favorite movie of the whole franchise, my least favorite, overall franchise MVP. I just kind of want to do one video to sum everything up and give some final thoughts outside of just Deathly Hallows Part 2 review here. So definitely stay tuned for that. And definitely don't forget, I'm going to put the link to the playlist below. So if you guys are checking this one out first for whatever reason, you can go check the other 7 videos out after you get done viewing this by just simply clicking the link below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But if you guys watch this point, big thank you for catching all of these reviews and going on this Wizarding World journey with me. But until then, I'll see you next time.